Do you remember these images from the border in Del Rio, Texas? When these images first surfaced back in September, they sparked outrage as many people thought the reins agents were holding were whips being used on migrants. Even President Biden was quick to comment.
I promise you those people will pay. They will be an investigation underway now, and there will be consequences. There will be consequences.
And now, almost a year later, the head of Customs and Border Patrol is finally concluding there is no evidence that the agents struck these migrants or were even using whips at all.
OPR found no evidence Border Patrol agents involved in this incident struck any person with their reins, intentionally or otherwise.
But despite finding that the agents did not whip their reins intentionally, CBP is proposing 2 charges now against these agents. According to a Daily Caller exclusive, the first charge against the agents is for, quote, poor judgment for instructing non-citizens to, quote, go back to Mexico. And the second proposed charge is, quote, unsafe conduct, maneuvering the agent's horse, causing a non-citizen to fall backwards into the Rio Grande. Now, the woman behind this report in a NewsNation exclusive interview is Jennie Taer of the Daily Caller. Jennie, we so appreciate you telling us more about your exclusive reporting here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit more. Today, we're learning CBP says agents did not whip any migrants, but essentially they're saying a horse was used in a way that caused a migrant fall back into the river. How serious are these charges?
We have yet to know how serious they are because there have been no punishments released yet. And we're hearing that it could be a few days of working on administrative leave, essentially. These aren't any criminal charges. These are just violations of internal policy. So according to the CBP commissioner today, who spoke for reporters, Chris Magnus, he said that we would still be awaiting those and did not detail what the punishments are for those 4 agents involved. And like you said, there was no whipping found on the parts of these agents. There were violations involving their treatment of the migrants, as well as some of the comments they made towards them.
And we know that some in the GOP are now today demanding that President Biden apologize to Border Patrol for essentially jumping to conclusions about it being a whip. We know you've spoken to Border Patrol agents extensively. So what have they told you? Do they feel that this administration is doing enough or that it has their back?
No, the answer is clearly no. I've talked to several of them that are either in leadership or rank and file, and they all believe that the statements coming from CBP and their leadership are empty promises, are empty statements, saying that Border Patrol will be treated well, the leadership will have its back. That's an email we received today that was sent internally to CBP officials to the rank and file, that as long as they act right, it will have its back. They don't believe that anymore. They believe that their promises are cheapened by this rhetoric they've made, especially with this incident. You know, the media ran with the allegation that they were whipping migrants, and now we're finding out that wasn't true. And so they tell me that they're frustrated that people are continually every day retiring from the agency. They're also just affected in their daily lives. Divorces are up. They come home and they're just, their morale is very low and horrible. And so they don't really know what to do anymore. They feel like they should just be doing the bare minimum now rather than going above and beyond in their jobs, because they feel like something will happen to them. They will face repercussions for enforcing the law at the border.
We hear you, and this is something we've been doing a deep dive on this week on NewsNation. There's been a record number of migrant encounters in the past year. In fact, more than 1.5 million since October alone. Now, earlier this week on the program, we discussed how the UN is now calling the journey from Mexico to the southern border, quote, the deadliest land crossing in the world. What do these agents say needs to happen to both protect the migrants and allow them to do their job?
They tell me that they need to stop focusing on processing. Their leadership has to give them the tools to enforce things like Title 42 more and remain in Mexico. They feel like those aren't being enforced fully. They're not sending people back. and they're allowing people to cross, and not only allowing them to come in, but also releasing them in mass. And so their jobs are just right now bringing people through the country. That's not what they signed up for. They signed up to secure the border. They don't feel like they're properly vetting everyone. And it's not only affecting them, but it's affecting the migrants. I hear a lot of stories from them about the abuse that the migrants endure, that they hear stories about, which of course affects their morale as well. Women unfortunately are raped. That's a very common thing along the journey. And a lot of these people are used as pawns for the drug cartels and for human trafficking organizations. And so they feel as though they're aiding and abetting in those operations, and they're part of these criminal organizations.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.